What went wrong with Jerod Mayo as the head coach of the Patriots, Tom?
I would start with bad roster. I would then leapfrog to the fact that that was not the timeline that the Patriots anticipated when they signed Bill to a 2-year contract in last offseason, 2023 offseason, right? And then agreed to bring Jerod Mayo back as the successor in waiting. They wanted Bill, Rich, to break the record here. They wanted to have a nice final few years where Bill breaks the record, the team returns to prominence, Mac Jones is getting carried off the field on the shoulders of everyone, and things go blissfully. That did not happen, as we know. Everything was accelerated. So Jerod ends up in a place much earlier than expected, without the ability to put together and really hone his vision and a staff to start with. So the Patriots were kind of picking scraps with coaches to a degree. And that's no disrespect to the coaches, but few of those guys would be individuals that other teams would say, man, we got to get Alex Van Pelt. As good as he did this year in different realms, no one was looking for that. So he was up against it. And then as a first-year head coach, I think his messaging could have been honed better at the podium, and he stepped in it too many times. So the team got worse as the season went on. So inexperience, bad roster, bad messaging. The Patriots are fortunate that they were able to land on somebody with some more experience, and now they have a quarterback in place for Mike Vrabel.
So before we turn the page to Vrabel, though, the messaging from Mayo, like what landed flat, not just amongst the fan base, but in the owner's suite, Tom?
Sure. I think it was the number of rakes he stepped on. Like, for instance, there was the occasion when they had that Saturday game. I'm blanking on the opponent.
Chargers.
Russ, thank you. They lose that game 40-7. Could have been 55-0. But at the start of the game, there was miscommunication between Mayo and the analyst, Russ, Tucker, and you. Right?
No, it was Chris Rose.
Thank you. Sorry, buddy.
Tom, it's all good, bro. All good.
So miscommunicating things like Ramondre Stevenson isn't going to start the game because of fumbling issues. He ends up on the field after he had told the media that wouldn't happen. Well, and this is not why Jerod Mayo was let go. It's just an example of the things that were kind of going on. If you're going to tell the media, you're going to tell the local media and the radio crew that that's going on. And then Ramondre Stevenson's on the field. Well, what's going on? How can those little things be mistakes? You said it, I didn't, when he was asked by our guy Phil Perry about why Drake May wasn't being run on some 4th and short plays, was a bad message that had to be walked back. So it was that kind of messaging. He's a smart guy, a talented guy, a charismatic guy, but he was not prepared for the scrutiny he was going to face, unfortunately. And I don't think he expected the level of angst.
Well, I mean, what about the calling the team soft? Was that
worked out? That worked out.
Right.
They played well after that. But again, the phrasing of it was something that, I talked to him later. Like, yeah, I shouldn't have said they're soft. I should have said they played soft. Yep. And again, it's a big difference. It's a massive difference to go from we're soft to we played soft, and then to have to walk it back on Monday. It just became difficult. And again, I consider him, having done television with him for 6 years as a player, and then when he was out of the NFL, in between that and coaching, I consider the guy a friend. But we do as media members, and you experience it all the time, you have to be honest, because our job is to explain to people what we're seeing with objectivity, regardless of the relationships we built with people who are doing jobs that we cover. And he was just not ready for the level of intensity.
Well, then what caused the Kraft family to lose the patience required to maybe allow Jerod Mayo to learn on the job? And the
last 4 games.
Okay.
The last 4 games. You needed to, as the season went along, prove that a foundation had been built that you could stand steadily on and start to reach for the next tier. And in those final 4 games, they came back from a bye. They have lost to the Indianapolis Colts, I believe, just before the bye, having given up a 19-play, 80-yard drive that ended with Anthony Richardson throwing a touchdown pass and then running for a 2-point conversion. That was backbreaking enough, but you had that final 4-game stretch with Arizona, the Chargers, the Bills twice. So you could show what you had done and accomplished to improve. They got blasted by Arizona. They played well against the Bills. They got blasted by the Chargers. And the team was receding in terms of competency as it went. So that, I think, was the final straw. And probably, Rich, so we can segue to the next guy.
Yep.
I would imagine the presence of Mike Vrabel was a specter that loomed over the whole situation.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.